It is late February in the year 57 BC, and the wind cutting across the plains of northern Gaul carries the iron scent of massacre that ended only 3 hours ago. Brenia, 26 years old and shivering in the freezing mud, feels the blood on her face stiffening like a second skin, a copper mask that is not her own. Until the sun rose this morning, she was the queen of the Nurvi, the wife of King Legatus, a priestess who walked within the sacred grove of a nation that had never known conquest. Now, the gold torque has been ripped from her neck, leaving a bruise that throbs in time with her heart, and her ceremonial robes hang in tatters, exposing her skin to the biting cold. She kneels beside 600 other women, their breath rising in terrified clouds of steam, their wrists bound with rough hemp ropes that bite into the flesh with every tremor. Around them, the Roman machine is at work. Legionaries move through the huddled mass of prisoners with the terrifying, silent efficiency of men who have turned human misery into an administrative process. They are sorting the livestock. The young are pulled from the arms of the old. The beautiful are dragged away from the plain, and the valuable are culled from the disposable. Brenia knows they are coming for her because she can feel the weight of a specific gaze. Standing apart from the grime and noise of the common soldiers is a man in armor, so polished it reflects the gray winter sky. He is a Legatus, a commander of the Legion, and his face holds the terrifying, composed beauty of a predator that is already eaten. He does not shout. He does not point. He simply watches her with eyes that strip away her humanity layer by layer. He begins to walk toward her, his boots sinking into the blood-soaked earth with a wet, heavy sound. When he speaks, his Latin is clipped, aristocratic, the voice of a man who studied philosophy in Rome before coming here to burn villages. He orders her taken to his tent, clean but not clothed, an object to be examined. A soldier's hand clamps onto her arm, rough and calloused, but Brenia does not fight. To fight here is to die, and to die is to abandon her 2 sons, who are lost somewhere in the chaos of the smoking horizon. She allows herself to be hauled to her feet, but as she rises, her eyes snap to the edge of the prisoner compound, and the breath catches in her throat. A wooden spear has been driven into the earth, and atop it sits the severed head of King Legatus, the man she has loved since she was a child. The father who swung their sons onto his shoulders now stares blindly at the Roman encampment, his mouth frozen in a final, silent roar. He is displayed like a hunting trophy for the amusement of the conquerors. Brenia does not scream. She does not weep. She takes the grief that threatens to shatter her ribs and locks it deep inside a mental fortress, burying it beneath a layer of ice. In this moment of absolute horror, she realizes a terrifying truth that shifts the balance of the world. With the king dead, she is no longer just a wife or a mother. She is a living vessel of the Nurvi's sovereignty, the last keeper of the sacred knowledge, and the only soul alive who knows where the tribal treasury was buried before the lines broke. The Romans see a broken woman, a trophy to be used and discarded. They do not realize they have captured a weapon, and as she is dragged toward the commander's tent, Brenia decides she will detonate that weapon from the inside. History books written by the victors will tell you about the brilliance of Julius Caesar's campaigns, the engineering marvels of the siege engines, and the glory of the Roman eagle spreading its wings over barbarians. They will list the casualty figures in the hundreds of thousands, erasing entire cultures with a stroke of a stylus. But those histories systematically omit what happened to the women when the fighting stopped. Tonight, you're going to witness the machinery of Roman conquest from the perspective of the property it seized. You will see the specific, bureaucratic horror reserved for the wives of defeated chiefs. You will follow Brenia into the tent of Legatus Gaius Cornelia Scipio, where the fate of her sons and the memory of her people hangs on a knife's edge. But be warned, this is not a story of simple victimization. There are moments ahead where you will think you know who the villains are. You will think the ending is written. You will be wrong, because Brenia understands that while Rome is a machine, every machine has a flaw, and she is about to wrap her fingers around the gears. Subscribe to the channel if you want to uncover the history they tried to burn. Leave a comment telling us where you are watching from. Now, step inside the tent. The canvas walls of Legatus Scipio's quarters create a surreal pocket of civilization in the midst of a wasteland. The air inside is warm, smelling of burning oil, beeswax, and expensive wine, a jarring contrast to the stench of mud and death outside. Furniture carved in Italy sits on thick wool carpets that dampen the sound of boots. Scipio circles Brenia slowly, his eyes traveling over her with a detached calculation of a merchant appraising a thoroughbred mare. He recites her biography as he walks, listing her husband's kill count and her son's disappearance, his voice smooth and terrifyingly informed. He stops in front of her, the lamplight catching the gold of his signet ring. He knows she is a priestess. He knows about the sacred grove. He knows that his scouts found only ash and bone where the druid treasury should have been. The silence stretches, heavy and suffocating. Scipio smiles, a gesture that does not reach his eyes. He knows the druids would never trust a woman with their secrets, unless that woman was a queen initiated into the highest mysteries. He wants the gold. He wants the location of her sons, the heirs to a dead throne. He wants her cooperation, and he places the options on the table with brutal clarity. She can speak willingly, or he can dismantle her piece by piece until the words fall out. He offers her a cup of wine, his hands unbinding her wrists not out of kindness, but to test her reactions. Brenia looks at the cup, then at the man who ordered her husband's beheading. She does not beg. She does not spit in his face. She negotiates. She speaks of leverage, of the difference between information extracted through agony, which is often false, and information given through cooperation, which is verifiable. She demands a transaction. Her sons' lives, not free, but safe within a household, and her own exemption from the special entertainment the soldiers are whispering about outside. Scipio is stunned. He expected a barbarian savage. He is facing a diplomat. He laughs, a sound of genuine surprise, and agrees to the terms provided her information is accurate. Brenia drinks the wine and begins to weave a tapestry of lies. She gives him a location for the treasury that is plausible, specific, and completely false. She sends his best men on a chase that will buy her 3 days. She is playing a game of three-dimensional chess against a grandmaster, and she has only one pawn left on the board. To understand the precipice Brenia is standing on, you must understand the hierarchy of Roman captivity. When a tribe fell, its women were not just enslaved. They were processed. At the bottom were the farmers' wives, sold in bulk lots to traffickers who marched them to the agricultural estates of Italy until they died of exhaustion. Above them were the artisans, the weavers and brewers, sold individually for their skills. Then came the noble women, the wives of minor chiefs, kept as concubines or high-status servants. But at the apex of this pyramid of misery were the queens. A captured queen was a political statement. She was the ultimate trophy, a symbol of total domination. She would be stripped of her identity, renamed, and forced to perform acts of public submission in the triumphs of Rome. But before the triumph, there was a camp. Queens were often assigned to the officers' quarters for hospitality, a grotesque euphemism for systematic sexual use by the command staff to bond over their victory. This is the fate Brenia is dancing on the edge of. She is moved to a private tent, given a simple tunic, and left to wait. But she does not sit idle. She presses her ear against the canvas walls, listening to the heartbeat of the camp. She hears officers speaking in rapid-fire Latin, discussing rumors that the Druid network, the underground resistance of priesthood, was not destroyed by Caesar, but merely went underground. They suspect Brenia is the key to unlocking this hidden army. She realizes her value has just doubled. She is not just a map to gold. She is a map to the insurgency. Later that afternoon, the flap of her tent opens, and a young officer enters. He is different. His armor is less ostentatious, his manner less predatory. This is Tribune Marcus Aurelius Cato, and he brings a complication that Brenia did not foresee. He sits on a stool, looking at her with curiosity rather than hunger. He speaks of history, of the bravery of the Nurvi, and then he drops his voice. He represents a faction within the Roman leadership that believes the policy of extermination is unsustainable. He claims there are men in Rome who want to integrate the tribes, not erase them, and he wants to open a channel to the Druid network. He offers her a third option, not slavery, not death, but role as a bridge between two worlds. Brenia listens, her face a mask. Is this truth, or is it the good cop routine in a sophisticated interrogation? She tells him she will think on it. But time is not on her side. The next morning, the machinery of her deception grinds to a halt. Scipio summons her. The air in his tent is no longer warm. It is freezing with control rage. On his desk lies a map, and on the margins of that map is handwriting Brenia knows better than her own. It is a script of Caddoc, her younger brother. Caddoc, who she thought was dead, has been captured. Caddoc, who knew the secrets, has broken. He has traded the location of the real treasury for his own life and a new identity in a quiet province. Scipio looks at her with eyes like flint. He has the gold. He knows she lied. Her leverage has evaporated like mist in the sun. He gives her until sunset. If she does not reveal the codes to contact the Druid network, the special entertainment begins tonight. Brenia is returned to her tent. The guards doubled. She sits in the dim light, the betrayal of her brother tasting like bile in her throat. She understands why he did it. Pain breaks everyone eventually, but understanding does not bring forgiveness. She has hours left. Scipio holds all the cards. But then Cato returns. He knows about the map. He knows the clock is ticking. He offers a desperate gamble. He tells her that while Scipio has the treasury, he does not have the sons. Scipio's men are searching, but they are looking in the wrong places. Cato claims he has riders who can move faster through secret paths. If Brenia tells him where the boys are, he can snatch them before Scipio's patrols arrive. It is a leap of faith into the dark. If Cato is lying, she is handing her children to the enemy. If he is telling the truth, it is their only chance. She looks into the young Roman's eyes, searching for a soul beneath the armor. She gives him the name of a farmstead. 3 days' ride to the north. Cato leaves. The sun begins to set. When Scipio demands her answer that night, Brenia plays the only card she has left, the stall. She tells him she will speak, but only after she sees her sons with her own eyes. Scipio, confident in his ultimate victory and perhaps amused by her defiance, agrees to wait until his search parties report back. He does not know that a race has begun in the dark forest of the north, a race between his soldiers and Cato's shadow riders. 3 days pass in agonizing silence. Brenia sits in her tent, meditating, preparing her mind for the torture that awaits if the gamble fails. On the fourth morning, Cato slips into her tent. He is covered in dust, his eyes rimmed with red. "We have them," he whispers. The relief hits Brenia like a physical blow, nearly buckling her knees. The boys are safe, moving south through the network beyond Scipio's reach. But Cato is not finished. He tells her that Scipio's men found the farmstead empty and are returning in a fury. The Legatus will realize within hours that he has been outmaneuvered. He will come for Brenia, and there will be no more negotiation. "You must leave," Cato says. "Tonight." He has arranged a transfer, a kidnapping of a prisoner from his own commander. It is high treason, but he is committed. 2 hours after midnight, the camp is asleep. Shadows move with purpose. Guards loyal to Cato look the other way as Brenia is smuggled out her tent, dressed in the cloak of a legionary. She climbs into back of a waiting cart, her heart hammering against her ribs like a trapped bird. As the cart jolts into motion, she looks back at the sleeping Roman camp, at the tent where Scipio dreams of his victory. She is leaving behind her kingdom, her husband's grave, and the ashes of her life. She is heading toward a Rome she hates, to raise sons who will speak the language of the enemy. But she is alive, and she is taking her knowledge with her. The story could end here with a dramatic escape, but history is longer and colder than fiction. Brenia spends the next 12 years in the heart of the beast. She lives in Rome, not as a slave, but as a consultant, a valued asset to the political faction Cato serves. She learns the intricate, deadly dance of Roman politics. She wears their silk, speaks their tongue, and smiles at their parties. Her sons grow tall, educated in rhetoric and war, balancing their Nurvian soul with Roman discipline. And all the while, Brenia watches. She tracks Scipio's career as he rises to become a provincial governor. She maintains secret contact with the scattered embers of the Druid network, fanning them slowly back into a flame. The moment of reckoning comes in the 12th year. A tax revolt breaks out in Scipio's province. He needs intelligence. He needs a specialist who understands the local tribes. His superiors in Rome, manipulated by Brenia's patrons, send him a consultant. He does not recognize the middle-aged Romanized woman who enters his office. He sees only an asset. Brenia feeds him bad intelligence. She guides his hand to strike where the air is empty and to expose his flank where the knives are waiting. The revolt explodes into a catastrophe. Scipio's legions are humiliated, his province lost to chaos. He is recalled to Rome in disgrace, his career shattered, his legacy ruined. He dies years later, never knowing that the architect of his destruction was the woman he once offered a cup of wine. And there is one loose end remaining, Caddoc, the brother who bought his life with betrayal. He has lived comfortably as a merchant, safe in his anonymity. But memory has a long reach. Brenia travels to his province, accompanied by two young men who have the eyes of King Baduagnatus. They arrive at his villa at dusk. Caddoc recognizes her instantly, and the color drains from his face. He pleads that he had no choice. Brenia tells him that everyone has a choice, and he simply made the wrong one. The debt is paid in full that night. Brenia dies at the age of 53 in a quiet villa on the Italian coast. She never saw the sacred grove again. She never rebuilt the Nurvi nation. But her last words were spoken in her native tongue, whispered to grandchildren who knew exactly who they were. She teaches us that resistance is not always a sword charge. Sometimes, it is the patience to survive, to learn the enemy's rules better than they do, and to strike from the shadows when they least expect it. Remember Brenia. Remember the queen who knelt in the mud and refused to break. Subscribe for more hidden history. Comment below with the part of the story that surprised you most. Remember the wives.